how do we accelerate our own sales through our own .com and not alienate our wholesale partners and make them mad because we don't want to see that go away.
Yeah, it's a challenge and you have to have some candid conversations. But the reality is that consumers expect the brand to have a relationship with them, any real brand. And our customers have come to accept and understand that.
Honest Ecommerce is a weekly podcast where we interview direct-to-consumer brand founders and leaders to find out what it takes to start, grow, and scale an online business today. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. Today, I'm welcoming to the show Jon, who is the CEO of Glamorise, a 103-year-old bra company that has exclusively focused on curvy women since 1921. Jon, welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So first, let's talk about kind of your career in commerce in general and like how you led yourself to now the CEO of Glamorise.
Sure. I started a long time ago at Procter & Gamble as a brand manager, which is a fantastic training ground for dealing with consumers and how to meet their needs and just the basic blocking and tackling of marketing. And it was a great education. From there, I went to a fancy consulting firm where I worked on basically Fortune 500 retailers. And it was about growth strategies. And that was a totally different perspective because it was really about strategic questions and then how do you execute against them at scale. So that was a great background. I then was recruited into this small business, Glamorise, which at that point was a mere 70 years old. And I started not as a CEO, not even close. I had to learn a lot before I could run the place. So I came in as a general manager, and that was 35 years ago.
That's amazing. And then how many titles do you think you had along the way?
3 or 4, I guess. Starting with that general manager title and then slowly sounding better and better. And then probably 20 years ago, I became the CEO.
That's amazing. Now, what was fascinating to me about when we met and the conversation that we're going to have today was just talking about how does a 100-plus-year-old company pivot and like begin to accept and use like direct to consumer and just the internet and selling things online, which didn't exist for 3/4 of the company's existence.
Right. In retrospect, it all makes sense. The company started as your basic in 1921. There was mom and pop retail and there were department stores, and we were in all of those things. Somewhere along the way, say in the late 60s, early 70s, the management of the company began to understand that retail wasn't serving our consumer well. It wasn't a good experience for her. The retailer didn't care about the curvy woman. She didn't service her well, and the whole shopping experience was terrible. So they initiated a push into catalogs. And at that point, catalog was a growing segment. Just like the internet became a thing, catalogs was a thing. And we were in it. And we were in the top 20 catalogs in the world. And that was the Sears catalog and JCPenney and catalogs all over the world. Auto catalog in Germany, J.D. Williams in England. The top 20 catalogs in the world, we were in all of them. And we actually got out of retail, which took a lot of bravery because they shrunk their business. They said it wasn't good long term. They shrunk their business and moved into catalog. Catalog business went very, very well for a very long time. When I came, it was still a catalog-based business, global, and the internet wasn't quite yet a thing.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
With this catalog-based business model, were you guys still like pick-packing and shipping and like fulfilling these orders direct to consumer?
No, it wasn't at all. It was a wholesale business. So it was really, from a logistics point of view, it was a wholesale business. We'd send big boxes of stuff to our customers and they would take care of all the logistics. But what was interesting about it was the mentality that I didn't bring it, they had it already, was they wanted to be a full service marketing company. They didn't know that's what they're doing, but that's what they were doing. So they would do photography and copy and ad setups and everything so that the customer, not the consumer, the customer would get a package. So here's how you sell the product in every way, which if you think about it was a great cultural setting for what it evolved to. being an internet seller. So we had no direct shipping to consumers at that point, and we kept away from that for a very long time. They did catalog for a long time. When I first came, it was a catalog business. And at that point, it was a fight for distribution. We were spending our time trying to get products placed in catalogs. That was job one, was getting distribution. When the internet started to show up, it made sense to us as catalog players. The internet seemed to us to be like a big catalog, just being simple about it. So we reached out to these folks, and fortunately, one of the early people we reached out to was Amazon. And we were a very, very early apparel player with Amazon. We were probably one of the first, and maybe the first intimate apparel player with Amazon. And in the first year, I think we sold $17,000 worth of product. We sold that in a few hours yesterday. And Amazon was a great education for us and a great entree into understanding the internet. And we learned a lot about data and a lot about marketing to consumers in a different way, in a digital way from that. It took us a pretty long time to go from that to being D2C. I had the old school mentality that we shouldn't compete with our customers. And so we didn't. We had a website early, very early, but it was purely informational. And then we would refer our consumers to our customers. What changed was it became pretty clear to me that the consumer wanted a relationship with the brand. And we were not fulfilling a relationship with the brand by not allowing her to buy from us. And we could be in the market without competing with our customers. For example, we wouldn't be the lowest price seller of the product. And we would be the foundational space for the brand to express its key values to our consumer and to relate to the consumer. So this will sound like very late to the party, and it was. That happened, and strategically we started discussing it in 18, and in 19 we started putting the components in place, building the tech stack and bringing the people, the whole team to do this. And we launched on January of 20, the new .com.
It's a very interesting time to launch. But before we get there, I just want to highlight and make sure that the listeners understanding, because you're using the words consumer and customer. And so when I'm hearing this and just having this conversation with you, when you're saying customer, you are almost meaning wholesale partners. So
yes. So Amazon's the customer.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Smith is the consumer.
Exactly. So you were trying to find ways as you start to accept, like, the future is direct to consumer. We're going to have to get there. And this is a challenge that I have not only heard from you, but from many legacy, if I would call it, brands, is like, how do we accelerate our own sales through our own .com and not alienate our wholesale partners and make them mad, because we don't want to see that go away?
Yeah, it's a challenge, and you have to have some candid conversations. But the reality is that consumers expect the brand to have a relationship with them, any real brand. And our customers have come to accept and understand that. And we compete fairly with them. We don't price below them. We don't offer things via our site that we don't offer to them. So it's a very level playing field. And our basic view is we want to be outlet agnostic as a brand. I want our consumer to shop wherever she wants to shop. And if it's Amazon, I'm happy. If it's Nordstrom, I'm happy. Macy's, I'm happy. And if it's Glamorise.com, I'm happy. And I don't play favorites with anyone. She needs to shop where she's most comfortable and happiest. And that's our ethos. And we express that to our customers, and they get it. So it was, at first, I was probably overly old school thought about it, and it probably held us back, which is probably why we were so late to the party in selling to the consumer in earnest. But fortunately, we just got a little lucky on the timing. Obviously, in 20, the whole world changed, and D2C became essential. If we hadn't built this, it's pure luck. If we hadn't built the stack and had the people here, It would have been very, very difficult. We were able to blow through our 2-year goals for .com within 4 or 5 months of 20.
Hey, everybody, just a quick reminder. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't. We're releasing interviews like this every week, so don't miss out. Now back to the interview. Obviously, you launched the site during, right when the world goes into a lockdown, everybody moves into direct consumer. But I still think there is some learnings that you guys had to figure out as far as responsibilities and like owning your own direct consumer channel comes with all these challenges: demand generation, fulfillment, how you're going to route all this stuff around, customer service. Like these are things you did not have in place with the traditional, wholesale customer partner relationship you were doing before. So you mentioned it started, the conversation started 2 years before. What did you guys maybe overinvest in making the move into direct consumer, and what did you miss the mark on, or maybe not invest as much in as you should have and learned rather quickly with obviously the volume that you did?
That's a great question. I would say there are two things. We built the business to scale, and a 100-year-old business, you think long-term and you build long-term. So we built the platform and the people. We were way overmatched to the size of our anticipated business. And from a business point of view, we got lucky in that we scaled into it very, very quickly. But we had already made the investment. So we were okay. It wasn't like, oh, how do we get there from here? It was planned to be a major business. It just got there quickly.
You were planning to overinvest, and it was an investment. These weren't expenses. This was an investment.
Yeah, I mean, a 100-year-old business, you have to plan. Everything must be scalable, and actually, sometimes it takes us longer to do things because we're building for the long term. So when we brought in the team that we brought in, and we built the tech stack we built, we so overbuilt it, saying, well, we want to do this right. We want to do it once. And we were lucky there. Where we got caught out, I would say, was our customers. We underestimated our customer service need. And that took us a while to catch up on. We did an adequate job, but not a brilliant job. And we think it should be a white glove approach for our brand and our company ethos. So it took us probably a few years to get that right, to be quite honest. And then I would say the other piece that is we only got right now, 5 years later, is our analytics stack. We switched to all in-house, and we built our own analytics suite. And it took us, the 2.0 of this stuff we built launched in February of this year. So it took us 5 years later to get it the way we like it, and it's been transformative. Having the right tech in the way that we want it, with the data we need, and we have 200 million lines of data that we've collected across all of the feeds that we have, which is our customers, our consumers, customer service, and a bunch of analytics we do. And that 206 million lines of data, structured and managed. And that gives us incredible insight into our consumers. And we have a whole team of data people that help us manage that process, all in-house.
I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify partner directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceye.io. If you sell big, bulky, oversized products on Shopify, I'm talking saunas, reformers, ping pong tables, exam tables, you know the pain. Your cart can't automatically show the real price to deliver that product. So maybe you guess a flat rate for your shipping, or there's that obnoxious email us for a quote button, and the buyer just doesn't purchase. That's why FreightRight built the world's first solution to make merchants' checkouts freight ready for heavy goods. Quote less, ship more. With FreightRight installed on your Shopify store, your customers see the true cost of shipping, including options for white glove or curbside, lift gates, appointments, even taxes, duties, and tariffs, all automatically calculated for any buyer anywhere in the world. Behind the scenes, FreightRight books the carrier, generates the bill of landing, dispatches, tracks, and writes the actual shipping costs back to the order, so finance isn't staring at a $0 line item. Prefer to offer free shipping domestically? Go for it. FreightRight automates the operation behind the scenes. Sell in other countries without local fulfillment facilities or distributors. Ship direct to consumer from your warehouse or even from your factory with accurate landed costs and reliable delivery times at checkout. Quote less and ship more with FreightRight. Make big and bulky finally buyable on Shopify. For the first 50 listeners to get set up with FreightRight before Black Friday, FreightRight will actually cover the first $500 in shipping costs on orders that are fulfilled through FreightRight. To take them up on that offer, go to FreightRight.com/honest. That's FreightRight.com/HONEST to get your free customized quote and start selling your best sellers around the world. Visit FreightRight.com/honest today. That's FreightRight.com/honest. Have you hit a wall with performance marketing on Facebook and Google? It might be time to think about where your next customers are spending their time online. That's where Realize comes in. Realize helps thousands of direct-to-consumer brands to tap into more ad placements across hundreds of premium websites, reaching audiences you just can't find on traditional social channels. With intent-based, contextually relevant ad placements, you can drive real conversions, not just impressions, and expand your acquisition strategy with better data, more control, and higher ROI. Realize helps you build high-performing AI-powered ad experiences backed by 17 years of data. And simple to set up, no bloated dashboards or complicated onboarding, so you can start scaling fast. You can also leverage your own first-party data to retarget people already in your funnel. So if you're ready to go beyond Facebook and Google and start reaching new audiences, head on over to discover.taboola.com/honest. That's discover.taboola.com/honest. discover.taboola.com/honest. Running an e-commerce business means wearing a lot of hats: founder, marketer, customer service, logistics, and let's be honest, sometimes even therapist. But one thing you shouldn't have to stress about: business insurance. That's where Next Insurance comes in. Next is built specifically for small businesses, including e-commerce brands, making it simple to get the right coverage entirely online in just minutes. Whether you sell handmade candles, athletic wear, or subscription boxes, Next helps protect you from the unexpected, from product liability to shipping mishaps and everything in between. And here's the best part: you can save up to 30% on your business insurance and get peace of mind for as low as $1 per day, knowing Next has your back. With transparent pricing, flexible plans, and instant certificates of insurance, Next gives you the confidence to focus on what matters most: growing your store. So if you're ready to protect your business while scaling your brand, head over to nextinsurance.com/honest to get covered today. That's nextinsurance.com/honest. nextinsurance.com/honest. Especially with that data not being something you had, be it 5 years ago.
Right. We were storing it and not using it, because we were smart enough to realize this is a valuable resource. So we were just collecting it, but we didn't have a proper way to deal with it. And now we do. So we have 5 years of history across all of our channels. We also became ISO certified for PII, so that we were I mean, this is actually something that occurred to us. We were gathering all this data, and particularly I was beginning to feel uncomfortable about data security. So we started about 3 years ago, 2 different ISO certifications for data security and PII. So we're at a very high standard on all of that, so that we can use this data and still feel comfortable that we're being safe and respectful of people's privacy, and hopefully not ever have any issues with it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, I always am curious about just having that brand recognition of these legacy brands as they pivot into accelerating their own .com sales. Like, how much noise did you have to make to let people know we're selling on our own website now? And was there kind of a halo effect of it being a brand that does have, at this point, it had been 100 years of history behind it?
It's actually really interesting. Early on, it was easy because organically we had an installed base of consumers. Mm-hmm. And she was looking for us. So quite honestly, she would search. We got incredible, super cheap organic search and organic sales. But once you kind of hit the organic base, then it actually becomes hard. So early it was easy, and then later it became more difficult with all the challenges that every D2C has about cost of acquisition and everything else. And we do have an advantage in that we have broad distribution among Amazon and all the major online retailers. So consumers are used to seeing us online. So her cross-shopping behavior was a benefit, but we had to let her know we were there. So, so we did all the usual things to make that happen. The thing that we have going for us as a business, and we can't take any credit for this, it's just the inherent nature of our business. Our consumer is incredibly sticky. She's problem solving. A curvy woman, bras are difficult for all women. I don't know how much you know about bra search, but getting the right bra is a lifelong quest for every woman. And our curvy women, it's doubly so because they have special needs based on their body type. So when she finds a solution, whether it be us or anyone else, she's extremely loyal to it. So in our case, when someone finds Glamorise bra solves their problem, she's going to stay with us. So as you know better than I do, the issue for a lot of D2C brands is you pay a fortune to get someone, and then you have to pay again. Mm-hmm. And that the lifetime value and CAC and all that math doesn't work. But for our consumer, it works because when she finds us and we've solved her problem, she's staying with us. And that's a huge plus.
I think that you can take credit for that, though, because it is your product is solving their needs. It is doing what they want it to do, which is basically you have a great product. And I think the secret of having a successful business is having a great product.
I agree with you. But I do think the category that we're in is fortuitous. You can have a great product that's fashion driven and that consumers love, and it does everything right, but it's fashion. So it changes. So even though you've done everything perfectly, you got to win her again the next sale. And we don't. We have to win it every time, but not in the same way. Once we've solved her problem, she's predisposed to come back to us or one of our retail partners and buy our product again. So the brand is sticky. And that's why at root, as smart as we all like to think we are, at root, the key to our D2C business is the loyalty of our consumer. And that makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely, Jon. Now, is there anything I didn't ask you about today that you think would resonate with our audience?
The one thing I would say is in our new data suite, which has been absolutely transformative to our business. I'm a longtime data observer. Anytime you see a hockey stick, you don't believe it, or there's something weird going on, or there's another curve you need to understand what's causing it. We actually hockey stick this year. Our new to brand sales are up 40%. Our business is up high double digits. I mean, the business is really exploding. And it's all because of the data that we're reading and understanding who's coming to the site and why, and what moved them there, and what do they do once they get there, and breaking out meaningful to us segmentations so that we're spending money against the right consumers. And that has absolutely transformed our business. It's like nothing I've ever seen. It's like a light switch. And so I would just encourage people to think really hard about how they want to analyze their business and line it up with what you can control. Analyzing your business, not being able to do anything is of no value. But we lined it up against the levers we could pull. And now we can adjust how we spend and where we spend to deliver consumers to our business. And it's been really fun.
That's amazing. Now, obviously, we just talked at length about the quality of the product. And if someone's listening, they want to go check out the product, where should they go? What should they do?
Shop at your favorite place, but glamorise.com is a great place to start.
Awesome. Jon, I cannot thank you enough for coming on the show and sharing all those insights with us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Always love talking about the business, and I appreciate your curiosity about what we do.